because I don't know nothing about that. Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Kevin McHale. We are back with another video for the weekend. In this video, we're going to be talking about the gossip shit because we didn't want to do that, talking about the Syria thing. And yes, I had to go on because I just be tired of America being the world police. And it's time for these other countries to step up and do something. We shouldn't always be the only ones to do what's right. If you didn't watch that video, please make sure you go check that video. And people might be saying, Kevin, what happened to that video you supposed to talk about the WWE? I did a video talking about the WWE. I talked so long that the camera stopped, and I didn't really like the direction of the video, so y'all just get another video when I'm ready to do it. But yeah, it's First Friday. I hope you guys are having a good weekend and all that good stuff. Easter's coming up. Are y'all ready for Easter? And you know, the only day y'all come to church. But I'm not going to judge nobody. But, I just want to have fun on this video. So if you're a first time watcher to the Scorpion Show, please subscribe. Please like this video, share this video on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or wherever you choose to share our videos. And first things first. You know the rest. But that's not what we're going to say. That's not what we're going to say. No. So, y'all know we got to talk about the Braxtons. Y'all been, let me tell you something. I missed watching this show because I really wasn't watching like that.
Neither was I.
And,
gotta be honest.
Yeah. But baby, they are bringing it this time around. And Tony, you tried it. And I'm going to tell you something. You being Miss Tony Braxton.
Well, how did she try it?
Because her inviting Birdman to this dinner to meet her father and him coming like that.
I recorded it. I didn't see the whole thing, so I got to go home and watch it.
It was terrible. I mean, the end of it, like, everybody knows him. Like, the sisters all of them know him. But to meet your dad for the first time, I just think that that was just a horrible way to do it. And then why he had to meet... Excuse me, I'm getting excited. Why did Birdman have to meet your father with everybody there?
Right.
I think that if it's a serious relationship, at least that's what you're trying to pull off to us, because your sisters all know him.
Miss Evans,
Brian, yeah, like he was just like a family friend. Why now he coming there and his shirt all unbuttoned and shit like that? And that's not how you want somebody to meet your father, whether you serious or not. I think you should have had them meet at your house, or let them just have a conversation, let them have a good little kiki on TV or whatever.
And can I just say this before you finish? I posted something like that on Twitter yesterday, and I posted on Instagram, and some folks were leaving comments like, well, you know, we're talking about the same dad who cheated on her mom, and I said
that thing got nothing.
I didn't leave a comment. I didn't leave comments.
I hope you got something like that.
No, I didn't, because I just was like in a whole nother zone last night. That's why I didn't get to see the whole episode. But my thing is, it doesn't. Well, it's unfortunate that the father did cheat on the mother, but at the end of the day, that's still her father, and respect is still due to her father. And if I introduce somebody to my father or my mother, I don't care if my dad did cheat on my mom. You're not gonna walk up and meet my dad and just act like, oh, like my dad ain't my father. That's my father.
Exactly.
I had brought one of my friends to my house one day, and not somebody I was talking to, but just one of my friends. This was like several years ago. Yeah, several years ago. And I'll never forget, my dad was sitting on the porch, and I walked up.
What is that?
That's a feather, but it keeps flying over this way. He was sitting on the porch, and I spoke to my dad. And when I walked up, I told my dad, as I was walking, I told my dad who my friend was, who was behind me. And for some strange reason, I felt as though I didn't hear my friend speak. So I grabbed that door, and when I grabbed the door, I heard my dad speak, but I didn't hear my friend. So I turned around, I said, did you speak to my dad? And my dad laughed and said, yeah, he spoke. And my friend said, yeah, he spoke. I said, oh, okay.
Oh, I know that's right.
Look at me, I speak to my father. That's my father. You better speak to him. You know what I mean? Don't you blame me? And I don't know why, but I just felt like I didn't hear you. You know? So I just feel like, you know, it doesn't matter what Tony's father did years ago. You don't, that's still her father, and you need to show a little respect. And if you're not going to...
But he didn't know that he was going to meet her father at that dinner, though, because she just told him to come, and he just came as Birdman, or the birdcage. But you know what, though? I'm not going to be mad at Birdman's body, and I think I'm drunk, but I'm not mad. You know, I'm not like this. I mean, I'm not mad.
Is it a nice body?
But do he got a nice bird? I don't know. So, I didn't know. I'm just gonna have fun this first Friday. But
So just tell them what you felt about the episode.
this episode was really not really an episode I really cared too much about. The father came over, Miss Evelyn does her normal, oh, I can't stand him, and I think Miss Evelyn needs to get over that. I mean, it's been 20 something years.
Get over that.
Get over that.
That's old.
Y'all, if y'all could still sit in the room together, excuse me, Miss Evelyn, y'all could sit in the room together, y'all could talk about y'all children, everything, like, it's over. Yes, he did something terrible, messed somebody in the church, but you can't be living with hate for him forever. Oh, I don't fuck with him. Like, no, you're supposed to forgive and forget. Forgiveness is for yourself, sometimes for the other person too, but y'all got grown-ass children that act like little-ass women sometimes, and I know y'all gotta be thinking to yourselves what happened sometimes. I feel like she need to stop acting like I'ma just throw him the cold shoulder every time she see him. Oh, I can't give you a hug or kiss him on the cheek. Alright.
I would really like it, you know, and I've never been in that situation. I've never been in a situation where
maybe
I'm married
and
and
they
have
probably
kids.
like, yeah.
You know what I mean? But I just feel like, you know, at some point, I would rather see her, when she sees him, hey, you know, and because if you ever notice, he's always happy.
Yeah, always.
His dad's always happy. He's moved on.
Clearly.
It's like, I hate to see Miss Evelyn so tight-faced.
Washington
When
bitter.
I wouldn't say bitter, but she's always
just be
tight-faced.
mad. She be like, fuck.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, come.
Spread it low,
You know what I mean?
wide.
The father's always happy. The daughter's always happy when he's around.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like everybody's happy except for her. You know, Tamar, he walked in the house and she gave him a big hug and like, oh,
That
man.
was her man. And
Yeah.
her house.
I know, but it's just like
You
Miss
know.
Evelyn, at some point I need for her to like,
Like he's
I want her to show
let it go.
him, yeah, like show him, like, listen, I'm over you, because you can tell that he probably says, well, yeah, she's still, but you know, I think if she next time she's around him, like, I'm happy, bring you a side piece with you.
Yeah, I'm waiting for her to bring her husband to the table, and just, you know, that would be a good episode. I don't know, but anyway, Miss Evelyn, like, don't treat Mr. Michael Braxton like that, because he is a good man. Your daughters love him. He fucked up. And the sad part is he got married in 30 days after getting a divorce from the mom. But, you know, we don't really know what they went through. We don't know what they was really going through.
Right.
Or none of that stuff. Not unless they wanted to be open about it and say what really happened. But, yeah. So, Tamar, I think Miss Evelyn felt some kind of way about Tamar not telling her that she was getting the IVF treatment. But, I didn't know what Tamar meant by again when she said I had the IVF treatments again.
What do you mean with you didn't know what she meant by that? That means that she had it, she gave her to her first son. Her child, her son. What do you mean?
According to her, she had a natural.
Well, I guess she slipped up. I mean, what are we gonna decide? Hello? Like, why is it this silence?
I don't know because I didn't know what she meant by again.
Listen, a lot of
Let me
tell you something.
First,
Let me tell you something. I think I'm the only person in the world, or I may be one of the few people in the world that I just feel like, listen, you carried that baby, you pushed that baby out, you had him naturally. That's how I feel. All that IVF treatment and all that stuff, you had that done because you were having problems. And you may have been having problems because of your health or because of your age. But you still had the baby. You know what I mean? So regardless of how you you carried the baby and you pushed them out. It doesn't, you had it. And if you had IVF, you had IVF. You know, if I had gastro, I had gastro.
Shout out to Mama June.
Okay? But she's keeping it all the way real. I didn't lose this by myself. I had help.
But Mama June looks good, actually. She's a pretty woman.
Yeah.
Her pictures,
Yeah. She don't look bad.
She did that. Well, she always had it. We just didn't know. The Pepsi commercial. We didn't talk about that,
No, we
bitch. Okay. Now, I'm not really mad at Pepsi. I could understand where Pepsi was coming from. This probably would have worked a couple of years ago. But in 2017, with so many protests going on, and mainly it's the Black Lives Matter movement that's protesting, not just unhappy white people that, like we seen in that commercial. And basically the commercial is a Pepsi given to the cops to make things alright. And don't tell me that's not what it's about. Because so many people was cheering, bitch. Kendall Jenner was it Kendall? She came out there, snatched her wig off and walked like she was about to make a statement and gave a cop a Pepsi. So everybody has a point. Everybody's point is valid when they say, oh, if only my father would have gave somebody a Pepsi, everything would have been alright. If I would have gave that cop a Pepsi when he pulled me over, I probably wouldn't be dead right now. Everybody's point is valid. And Pepsi really didn't think it through. And this is not the first time Pepsi made a bad decision on making a commercial. Remember a couple years ago, they had that sheep in the commercial, or was it? I think it was a sheep. And you had all these black guys for a Mountain Dew commercial, and had the girl pointing out from a lineup, this is what's going on. I mean, you know, who you think did it or whatever. You had all these black people dressed up like a thug, and you had the sheep, and the sheep was threatening her, the lady, in the Mountain Dew commercial. So Pepsi...
But that wasn't Pepsi.
It's Pepsi owns Mountain Dew.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. You just learned something. I didn't know that.
Pepsi owns Mountain Dew. PepsiCo company. So y'all have to make better decisions on when it comes to your product. And I did not know that Pepsi wasn't number one. I thought they were number one. It's Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
I did not know.
Well, I mean, you know I'm a Pepsi fan.
I fuck a Pepsi up. Bitch. Just don't get expired.
I made a mistake and kicked that.
I was listening to the Sonos earlier.
I didn't know that Pepsi, yeah, I'm a big Pepsi fan. I just, you know, I didn't really, you know, people were upset, and, you know, they had their reasons why they were upset. Their reasons were not my reasons, so I'm just say that, you know.
People, man.
Yeah, they did. And I don't blame Kendall Jenner, and I don't blame Pepsi. I think it was just poor, it was just, you know, poor altogether. But, you know, it's unfortunate because people, you know, I feel like Pepsi was saying, listen, sometimes, you know, we don't always have to, you know, yell and scream at each other. Sometimes maybe we can sit down and have a Pepsi. And you know what, the commercial, I kept saying to myself, I need for someone or something to show me why it is that I'm thinking about this so much. And then it hit me. It reminded me of a few years ago when that professor, Lewis Gates, was stopped at his home by a white police officer. Stopped him on his own porch.
That was a big story.
Remember that? Stopped him on his porch, and he was explaining to him, this is my house. I'm going inside my own house, and the cop, you know, did what he did. And it made headline news to the point that President Obama invited Mr. Gates and the police officer to the White House to sit at a table on the White House lawn to have beer with him, Joe Biden, and the cop. And it reminded me of that. And I said to myself, a lot of people were upset that President Obama did that because they felt, a lot of black people were upset that he did that because they felt like you were giving this police officer a pass.
No, he didn't.
Even though he did something and it was clear that he was being targeted because of he was being black. But a lot of African Americans felt like, you know, President Obama, you know, you were giving that cop a pass. But then you had some people saying, well, you know, sometimes, you know, things can be misconstrued, and President Obama was saying, you know, listen, let's just sit down and have a beer and talk about it. And I kind of felt like that's what the commercial was. Like, you know, let's just have a Pepsi and we can sit down and talk about it. That's how I got. That's what I took from it. I took from that, and then, you know, a lot of people didn't take from that, but I felt like, you know, you had this issue with the, you know, the guy, and, you know, I just, you know, I'm not one of those people who always look at things as being
But in 2017, you have to.
Yeah, in 2017 you have to, but in 2017 I also don't want to label something or someone something that they're not. You understand what I'm
not
saying?
that way, but you know, but
do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
I don't, because I would hate for someone to label.
When you was like, but I don't get it.
I didn't get it. And I didn't get it at all.
And I said, Kevin, it's not the time to do that. Yeah, but I got it. I got it all the way. It's 2017.
No, and I wasn't saying I don't get it as in I don't get it like I'm trying to be smart. I was actually saying I need for somebody to really explain to me what it is that I'm not seeing, because I wasn't seeing what everybody else was seeing.
Oh, I seen it. Because when I seen it, I said, oh, a Pepsi make everything okay with protesting? Hell, no. That's not what I got from it, and it was just so much.
But see, that's the thing. I don't get that they were necessarily saying Pepsi is going to make everything okay. Let's have a Pepsi and sit down and talk about it. Naturally, President Obama having that beer with them did not make everything okay.
The beer summit, that's what it was called.
That's what it was called. Naturally, that beer summit didn't make everything okay, because after that, we still had black men being killed in this country.
And it actually got worse.
And it got worse. But what President Obama was putting out there was, let's all sit down and have a conversation about this particular situation that happened, and maybe we can come to some understanding or resolve. And that's what I got from that. No, the Pepsi's not going to make everything okay, but maybe if we sit down and have a Pepsi.
But Pepsi took the wrong route.
I mean, yeah.
And this is how I feel about it. Dear Pepsi, if you wanted to, like, I don't know what's the right way to make it seem like your product is better over this sort of thing that's going on in this country. But maybe I think it would have been better to take the route that a lot of other companies took, like Anheuser-Busch, when they talked about the struggles that the company went through to become who they are, and who the founding fathers of that company, what they went through. I think that would have been a better direction. Or you could, I don't remember what company it was, but it was a company that was just talking about, these are our people. We are all from these different countries, and this is what makes us a country. But whatever it was, I can't remember. But they just showing like we are all Americans, and this is who we are. I really can't remember. I think it probably was Coca-Cola. But whatever country it was, whatever company it was, they did it the right way. Just showing that we are all humans, we are all Americans, or, you know, whatever it was. This is what makes us who we are. And they had their product over it. Nobody got upset. But to just think that a Pepsi will make everybody just go off and go crazy, bitch, you out your fucking mind. Not in 2017 when you got cops killing people at rallies and arresting people for no reason, except for them being black and just standing there and protesting them what they believe in. Pepsi, y'all just really need to think about who y'all hiring, or who y'all want to hire to do y'all commercials for y'all. I'm not saying fire that person, but this just wasn't a good look for y'all, and they probably did fire him because it's a company. Your thoughts made our company look bad, but
the same type of, you know, effort and rage that we put into being upset with Pepsi, hopefully we could have that same type of effort and rage put into our communities.
Yeah, about how children are not knowing how to read.
Yeah.
Where is the outrage in that?
You know what I mean? Because, you know, I just feel like, you know, let's be upset about something worth being upset about.
Yeah. I mean, people had a right to be upset about that Pepsi commercial.
They did. I mean, to go and really, you know, let's be for real. When's the last time we actually had a huge debate about our school system? When's the last time you've seen social media go off about most of the kids in this country, African Americans or minorities, having a low reading level, or not being able to, or the crimes in our community that are done?
People are never going to have that, because about the crime, especially when 3 people got killed in the same.
You know what I mean? I would talk about these school systems rather than talking about Pepsi.
Yes, but Pepsi needs to think about the ad.
They should.
All
companies should think about what they put out there. All companies should think about what they put out there. And you know what? I'm actually happy that Pepsi pulled the commercial because it's like, listen, that's not
already out there. Once it's out there, it's out there.
No, but it is. Once it's out there, it's out there. But I took it as, listen, this is not even where we were trying to go with that. You know what I mean? So let's pull this commercial. We're gonna make sure that we apologize to y'all, and you know, but that's not.
I didn't even read this statement.
Yeah, but I just like. You know, I feel, and you know, some people were upset for Whoopi Goldberg when she said on the video the other day when she went off, but
actually she said the right thing.
She did. Like, you know, we get upset about the wrong stuff. Like we get so upset.
That's why I cough in this bed. Go ahead.
We get so upset, and it's just like, you know, we got other fish to fry, but yet we, you know, I don't know. And then people, I don't know.
I think Whoopi's saying what she said was different in this context, but she was saying that she was just tired of people talking about cultural appropriation.
Yes.
When you were in the white man. How can you be mad about that when you take us out for somebody else?
And I'm not even talking about when she said the white
wig.
Yeah, but
I'm not mad. I'm not mad at her when I seen that clip.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the white wig part, but I understood what she was saying. Like, come on, like everything, you know, it's just like, come on.